Some people who struggle with pornography feel like they're never going to be free from it. They resolve again and again, I'm not going to ever look at it again. And they find themselves falling into sin and temptation over and over. And they feel like, is God even there? Is he even powerful? And does he love me? Can he rescue me? How do I navigate this ongoing issue in my life? You know, one thing I would tell you is you are not alone. I've heard stories like this over and over again. And what we have to realize is that striving to live a life that's honoring to God takes time. It's a journey. And yes, it does begin with a commitment. It begins with a commitment to lay our lives before the Lord and ask for his help. But it also is an ongoing journey of what does it look like every day to confess my sin? What does it look like to even examine the things underneath the reasons that I look at pornography? For example, some people learn at a very young age to deal with negative feelings like shame or depression or anxiety by looking at pornography. Well, what they might not realize is that their brain is actually learning to fire that when I feel bad, I go to porn, and that becomes a form of self-medication. Now, if you just try to get rid of the pornography without dealing with the underlying thing that is causing you to run to porn, you might be able to have enough willpower to do that for a few days or a few weeks or maybe even a few months. But at some point, your level of coping is not going to be enough to deal with life, and you're going to find yourself right back to where you were. And so really dealing with an issue related to pornography or any other besetting sin is getting to the root of why do I keep going there? And it also involves being gut level honest. You know, I think sometimes we want to say to God, you know, just me and you, we're going to cope with this sin in my life. But that's not how God works. You know, the book of James tells us that we need to confess our sin to one another, and that's part of our healing. And so if you struggle with pornography or some other besetting sexual sin, a key part of your journey and your healing is going to be getting into community where you can be honest, where you can confess, where you can ask for help, and you can also be challenged to grow in the areas that are underneath the temptation and sin.